Yo, what's up everyone? Today isn't just your ordinary Q&A. I brought the lovely, the talented, the fantastic Lauren Zerker. Lauren, can you please come and say hello to the people?
Hi.
I know, riveting stuff. What we're gonna do today is actually a mukbang style Q&A where we're gonna go get some food at Whole Foods, as you can see right here. Probably the Friday pizzas, because you can get 2 pieces for $20.
With Amazon Prime.
With Amazon Prime, I mean, who?
Not a sponsor.
And I'm also gonna tell you guys how I almost started working at ALD. Riveting, I know, riveting. Let's get going. All right, so come chill with us for the next 10 to 20 minutes. It should be a lot of fun. Thank you for everyone who actually submitted questions to the video. I appreciate it a ton, as always. Yeah, should be a fun video. Let's get into it. So let's start with the easy question that you guys asked me. Music that's been on repeat / my favorite type of music. For me, and Lauren a little bit too, like we really enjoy obviously hip hop and rap. Then you have like jazz, and I've been really into lo-fi. And so a combination of different artists that I've been listening to a ton lately is obviously Tyler the Creator's new album, Call Me If You Get Lost. You guys know I love that album. J. Cole had an album this year that I listened to and I enjoy often. And then on the lo-fi side of things, I typically like find my lo-fi music on YouTube, which is funny enough. And they like either are like remakes of songs that have already come out, or they are just original lo-fi beat creations that have like a jazziness to them. So also like Korean lo-fi is pretty fire too. Like Korean hip hop lo-fi is pretty good. So yeah. So the next question you guys asked me was, what are some of my favorite cars, right? And honestly, this is probably the time period where I'm least into cars at like age 23, which is the age I am right now. I used to be much more into it when like Transformers was a thing, and when I watched like Fast and Furious and things like that. But I would say right now my favorite car has to be the Tesla Model S. And I know they just came out with the Plaid version, which is like a updated version, but it might not be the most exciting of all exciting cars. But Teslas are just clean, honestly, to me. I know Lauren back there is Miss Audi, but Teslas to me are just the cleanest car, and they're eco-friendly, and they're just futuristic, and they're dope.
You can get the Audi e-tron and be eco-friendly, so.
No one knows what that car is. Everyone knows what a Tesla is, so yeah. I don't know if I said this, but if I didn't get to your question in this Q&A, I apologize. I did get a lot of questions and just wanted to answer the questions I feel like would be best for the video. Maybe I hadn't answered before. So if your question didn't get answered, no shade on you. It was a good question. I just got a ton of them. I think this is a perfect segue into what actually favorite food is.
Oh.
So right now, I think that I'm in a moment where I love pizza, right?
Oh my God.
And sometimes it's a comparison between, or a rivalry between pizza and sushi. And right now I'm in a pizza moment, so I would say pizza is definitely my favorite food. Next, you guys asked me a pair of shoes that I want, and actually after being able to get a pair of the 992s, I have really fallen in love with this silhouette. So it would be interesting to see this pair in an all gray colorway, as well as the Jound pairs are really beautiful. A pair of shoes that I've been interested in are the Yeezy, the foam runners. I think those are just an interesting shoe that paired in an interesting way. I think the design is really futuristic. It's just one of the probably the best silhouettes that the Yeezy team and Kanye have ever put out, and it's reflected by the resale prices, obviously, and it's also reflected by just the kind of demand for that shoe. And I think obviously we're in a moment of clogs and we're in a moment of slides, from Crocs to Merrell to Bottega Veneta to etc to Beatniks. I think the Yeezy version is definitely, of all of them, probably the coolest. The next question actually comes from Lauren.
My question is, what's your favorite part about what you do on YouTube?
My favorite part about what I do on YouTube, right? I'd probably say my favorite part about what I do on YouTube is the ability to connect with people who have like interests, right? And to really help people, especially when I do the workwear videos, helping people buy clothing that they wouldn't buy previously, but now that they have a guide, they are more willing to buy it, right? And then I can connect with them on like, oh bro, like I love these like 874s, these are sick, or oh yeah, I just picked up my first pair of vintage Levi's and like they're perfect, you were spot on. So I just love the community aspect of it, for one, and then I also just love just being able to chop it up with people who are like-minded, right, who are into fashion and things like that. So probably that's my number one thing. And then the process, like the process is so fun. Obviously there are times when it's a little bit daunting. Like Lauren knows I put like 18 hours of editing on one day for the June-July pickups video, but like a lot of times it's a ton of fun. Like you get to kind of be creative as you want to be, and it's super dope to be able to do that. Who are your favorite fashion inspirations / YouTubers who probably inspire me? That's what I'm guessing the question means. Starting with YouTube, I would have to say that Ray Mia is one of the early people that I found out about on YouTube, who really just kind of talked about fashion with so much passion, as cliche as that sounds, but talked about it with so much passion, love, and energy, and kind of had that New York style to him that definitely has always been an inspiration. And to be able to work with Ray after knowing him for what he did on YouTube was unbelievable, right? Another is Keezy TV. I think Keezy, what he does with drone shots, what he does with editing, how he approaches fashion, his love for Babestas is really, really cool in my opinion as well. You can just tell that his like passion, his energy kind of goes through the lens of the camera, and he's really like talking to you, someone who maybe doesn't know as much about something like Babestas or isn't from the Bay Area, and he kind of brings you into his world. I think that's dope. I think also with Love Grandpa is another great creative and creator on YouTube. I think he does a great job of being himself. For one, his videos are funny, and he just has great aesthetics for his channel. Love it, love what he does. As far as like designers and brands, I'm not a big kind of fashion designer guy. Obviously the biggest designers and the ones that I think about right away when it comes to like who have had impressionable design work, you have Kanye West, Virgil Abloh, Jerry Lorenzo, what Union LA is doing. My favorite brand of course is Aime Leon Dore, and so those have always been kind of interesting designers. But in all honesty, I don't really look at designers as much as you would think I do. I look more at just things that interest me. It's kind of weird to say, but it's not designer based really. But those are designers that I can just think about off the top of my head where I'm like, yep, those are the guys where I've actually looked at their shows, looked at what they've done, and been like, oh, okay, this is interesting, this is different. But the more I learn and the more I get into fashion, I feel like maybe down the line I'll have more designers that I'm a really big fan of. But right now, it's kind of the cliche big boys, if you want to call it. So it is what it is. All right, the next one is, how do you get started in fashion if you're on a tighter budget? And I think that this is actually a really, really great question. Wow, you saw a bat?
Yeah, sorry.
So we're at Wash Park right now in Denver, and at night bats come out. So Batman, you know what I'm saying? There's literally a bat right there. I'll try to get you guys a clip of him.
It looks like a little bird, but it's really a bat.
The question is, how do you get into fashion on a smaller budget, right? Now, one of the things I definitely don't want to recommend and would never recommend, and something that I made the mistake of when I was younger, was buying into fast fashion and believing that that's gonna make my fashion sense better. A lot of times fast fashion takes pieces from what's popular right now and they make it in cheaply made garments, and they make it just poorly in my opinion. Like whether it be PacSun, whether it be H&M, Forever 21, whether it be Zara, or Zoomies, or ASOS. I think Shein. I think Uniqlo is a little bit different, but some of those other ones, like what we mentioned, I wouldn't go for them as quickly as some of the other things. And some of the other things I would try to look at when you're buying into fashion, when you're on a budget, is going vintage. I think buying into items that are secondhand can go a long way, because you can find some really amazing pieces for prices that are amicable versus having to buy, you know, a recreation of vintage pieces, maybe in high fashion or you know, avant-garde or high snob brands, if that makes sense. So I think vintage is a really sound option. And I think also what's really interesting about the time we're living in now is the ability to find smaller brands as well doing dope things for a relatively good price. I mean, I know a ton of small brands that before I even started my brand, there are so many people doing things that are really amazing, and they're doing it for a relatively cheap price. And so build your wardrobe up piece by piece. A lot of people say, you know, you get your essential items. You get a good t-shirt, a good pair of pants, a good pair of shorts, maybe some sunglasses. You have a decent set of socks, and you can start there, and it can be relatively minimal, and then you kind of build up to having more maybe eccentric or personality related pieces. That's the way I would do it, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so that's the recommendation I give to someone who's young, trying to figure out how to navigate fashion. Currently, my favorite trend would have to be, and I'm not like a big trend person, but I would say that my favorite trend, you can get some more pizza.
I know, I was like,
yeah.
This isn't a mukbang otherwise.
I know, it's not a mukbang if you're not eating pizza.
If you're not eating.
My favorite trend is putting cream laces on sneakers. That to me is one of the best trends that have come out in recent years. I think it just adds a nice little detail to a sneaker. I don't really do it as much anymore, but of all the trends, that's the one I like. Last two questions. This is number 9 of the video. The question is, what are my goals for the second half of 2021? And I actually really like this question because on July 1st, I actually talked to you about this. On July 1st, I sat down and I wrote out the goals for what I want to accomplish by January 1st, 2022. And I won't go into the nitty gritty, but essentially my goals are to continue to elevate and grow my podcast to the point where I have X amount of downloads by the end of the year. And if you have that question, you can ask me the exact question and I'll answer it in the comment section. Also, to grow my YouTube channel to a certain point, right? I put a lot of effort and a lot of love into the videos that I create for you guys. And so, you know, the goal for YouTubers is typically subscribers. But for me, I want to create a certain amount of videos by the beginning of January 2022. And I feel like the body of work is more important than the result. So there's that. And then for my brand, of course, I got the Edward Joyner World Champion tee on right now. And of course, I have goals for my brand. So I have a ton of just personal growth goals as well, to continue to stretch and work out and eat relatively healthy as I'm smacking on some pizza. And so yeah, I have a ton of goals. So yeah, someone comment down. Oh, that's crazy. Wait, do that again.
Wait, should I keep this actually?
No,
that's a bit much.
Comment your goals down below if you have any goals for the second half of the year. All right, the last question of the mukbang Q&A. Let's get one more bite. You already took a bite? Last question. I'm actually curious to see if Lauren will answer this question too. The question is, when eating a chicken wing, do you prefer eating drums or flats? Back in my college days, which wasn't too long ago, I used to have more chicken wings than I do now. And I can, with absolute certainty, say that flats are better than drums.
Really?
Alright, I'm also going to tell you guys the ALD story, but it's getting too dark. Lauren and I are going to smack the rest of this pizza, then head home. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this section of the video. Let's move on to the ALD story time with Drew. and Lauren. All right, I don't know if Lauren will be there. Oh, there's a dog coming towards us.
Oh my god, he loves pizza. Oh my god, you're so cute!
No, you can't have any pizza. You can't have any. You can't have any, no.
Oh my god, you want some water or something? Oh my god, that bread is hot.
That bread is hot.
That bread
He
is
wants
hot.
my pizza. And let's get this microphone on. The real question is will Kanye ever release Donda? All right, that's on. All right, let's get into this ALD story time, why don't we, huh? So once upon a time, I almost worked for Aime Leon Dore, one of the kind of most up-and-coming brands is what I would call ALD right now in the streetwear, menswear, and kind of New York fashion space. I almost worked for them. Let's get into the story. So flashback to 2019, the summer of 2019, I was a senior in college, and just like a lot of seniors, or that was my senior summer. That was my last summer of college, 2019, right? And so a lot of people, when they're in their junior year or they're going into their senior year, they're accepting job offers, et cetera, et cetera. And where I went to school, I actually had to do an internship during the summertime. And so I was doing an internship in 2019, and I was like, you know, I like the company I'm interning at. It was a tech company called Storyvine, but it just wasn't something I wanted to do, you know, moving forward really, you know, as a career. I was interested in fashion. I had just stopped hooping Division I. And so I was like, what am I gonna do, man? Like, what am I gonna do? So towards the end of my internship during the summer of 2019, I would like go online and I would do research on different brands and companies that maybe have positions or just different companies within fashion that I was curious about. And as you guys know, I've been a huge fan of ALD since 2017, kind of 2018, that fall winter 2017 season. And for me, like, I thought it would always be a dream, or like it would be cool to work at a company that I've, you know, been a fan of, like ALD. So, but also like I'm a business major, so like I have a marketing degree. I have a marketing degree, and ALD is a fashion brand. So I don't have like I'm not gonna have the schooling to really work there. But I was like, whatever, man. I don't care. I'm gonna, you know, try to secure a position at this company, or at least try to get my foot in the door with somebody. So what I end up doing, and this is like honestly advice to anybody, I just went on, if you guys know, LinkedIn is like the social media platform for adults. So I went on LinkedIn, I searched up ALD, Aimé Leon Dore. I found out who maybe I could DM with, who can I connect with. And so I connected with, I think it was let me get the right name, the Chief Strategy Officer, Will Grogan. And I sent Will Grogan a DM. I actually have the DMs, I'll show them on screen. And I basically was like, I love Aimé Leon Dore. I really want to be a part of the brand. And is there any way I can have a conversation with you? And I waited, I think maybe it was a day he responded, or a few hours. It was pretty quick. I got a response and he was like, yeah, let's talk on the phone, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to have a conversation with the Chief Strategy Officer at Aimé Leon Dore based on a DM through LinkedIn. I was geeked, I was excited. I was like, what more could I ask for? Like, at least a conversation. So I had the call. Will actually graduated from Harvard. So I was like, you know, I'm just chopping it up with a dude from Harvard, like holding my own. I have the ultimate, you know, confidence in myself. And that's kind of what I've gotten and gained from playing basketball and sports. And so I felt really good about talking to him, and the call went fantastic. We talked for like 40 minutes. We talked about, you know, what they need, talked a little bit about my background. It was kind of like a mini interview, which was crazy to me, that he was willing to go to that length to just talk and chop it up and maybe help someone who's a graduate coming out of college, like trying to figure out how to find a job. The call went well. I ended up having a conversation with Alec Banks, who's another kind of employee at ALD. I think he's the project manager now at ALD, but I don't know if that was his position in 2019. Anyway, had a call with him, super short call. That call was like 8 minutes long, but also it was pretty positive. He was like, oh, like what are you looking to do here? And I was like, I'm just looking to, you know, get my foot in the door. And so what he told me is that they essentially have a position for customer service. And I know customer service is something that ALD at times struggles with. And so customer service isn't like glamorous, right? It's not like the best job. It's not creative director. It's not project manager. It's not chief strategy officer. Customer service is kind of like what you would expect for someone who doesn't really have a marketing or college degree skill sets. But I was like, whatever. that's super dope. I'll do customer service, and maybe in 4 to 6 months I'll move up and, you know, be able to do more and be more involved in the brand. But there was a problem. The problem was that I had an entire year left of schooling, so I was not going to graduate in time, and they needed someone to fill the role in like September of 2019. Granted, I was in like July of 2019 when I had these conversations, and I had school. So like where I go to school at University of Denver, we start in September, and the quarter goes from September to December essentially, and that's like the first quarter, right? And so I had school. I couldn't work, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't move to New York and work. Like I couldn't afford that. I wasn't there. And so to me, like I was this close to being able to secure a job at ALD. Granted, it's not like anything special, crazy, nothing really what I want. Definitely an experience that I feel like I got really close to experiencing a job at ALD. It didn't happen, like I said, but it was something that is a pretty fun story. I really got close. I could have maybe worked there if I was in New York, those kind of things. So yeah, sort of a uneventful ending to the story, but it goes to show, like, if you really want something, I think a lot of people don't understand how close they are. They're really one decision, one DM, one, you know, action away from potentially changing their life. If the timing was better, I say maybe I would be working at ALD, maybe I would still be there right now, but everything works out in the end. Now I get a chance to do, can I talk? Now I get a chance to make YouTube videos and potentially work with ALD in the future still. I mean, it's a fantastic brand, but I felt like I was pretty close in 2019, which was crazy. And then obviously 2020 COVID happened, and the rest is history. That is the ALD story. That is the 5K Q&A. I have to say thank you guys one more time. I appreciate you so much. 5,000 subs on the channel in less than a year is unbelievable. Let's see how far we can push it. The year mark of this channel is technically October. So that should be coming up in the next couple of months. I want to thank you guys once again. Thank you. Let's continue to build this community. Comment down below any other topics you want me to talk about or videos you want me to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to be doing comparisons between loafers. I'm going to be comparing the ranchers. But other than that, like, I need more ideas for different things for videos that I want to create, right? So as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2021. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys in next week's video. I'll be back creating really awesome content for you. I don't know, why did I just do that? That is just so goofy. Cut that. Just want to say thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Trying to do these once a week at least. And hopefully you guys are having a good rest of your Sunday. Hopefully you have a great rest of your week. Whatever day you watch this, hope you're having a good day. And I'll see you guys later, all right? Peace. Man, I can't believe Kanye teasing Donda like that. Not even want to release the album. Crazy.